Welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mechs Critical Mode any percent speedrun tutorial. And in this episode, we are going to be dealing with Land of Dragons, which, similar to like a lot of early game worlds in this run, is a very difficult world, both to go fast in and to survive. And kind of the nature of these early game worlds is, since we don't have a lot of options available to us, not a lot of tools in our toolkit, there's going to be a lot of improv that happens. But I'm going to do my best to kind of explain my thought processes, explain differences based on what spawns I get, what RNG I get, all that sort of thing. Going to do my best to explain that sort of thing for this world. And without further ado, let's get into it. So Land of Dragons is going to immediately begin with a menu. In this menu, we are going to switch Donald for Goofy, so bringing in Goofy real quick. And then we are going to take Ping's Ether, and then we're going to hit the touchpad here. When you hit the touchpad, it opens up this tutorial menu. And the reason we do that is when you press the touchpad, it opens up two tutorial menus. But if you don't do this, when you go to open the menu later on in the run, it's going to give you 5 menus that pop up. And obviously 5 is greater than 2 and takes much longer. So we do this so we don't lose time later on when we open the menu. Something I immediately want to note as well is that in this video, I do not buy the Fire Bangle. But that's not to say I don't recommend buying the Fire Bangle. The Fire Bangle gives you increased resistance to fire, and that really comes into play in a big way during Hades' escape. So if you have the Fire Bangle equipped, you can take 2 attacks from Hades without dying. Normally 2 attacks would kill you without the Fire Bangle, but with it you'd survive. If Hades' escape is something you are concerned about dying in, and I'm sure everybody is, I would probably recommend buying the Fire Bangle. It only takes a second to buy it. It costs about the same amount as 1 ether will cost, so it's basically your 1 ether down through the rest of the run for buying it. But if it helps you get through Hades' escape, I would definitely recommend it. I'll mention it again probably in the OC video, but if you have the Fire Bangle, you'd equip it right before you go into Hades' escape. I have never bought it in my speedrunning career. Not because that's a good thing. I'm not saying that because like, oh, I'm so cool, I don't need it. Honestly, I probably should have been buying it earlier in my career, and probably even now, because, you know, you die to Hades Escape. Hades Escape is tough. Like, if it gives you a chance to survive, you should probably take it. But yeah, anyways, I'll leave it up to you. I'd probably recommend it, but I'm not going to force you to do it. So moving on from that, we're going to go directly into Valor form to run on over to the first fight in the world, which is pre-mission. And pre-mission actually immediately has some RNG in the opening. It comes from something that we call ping prediction. So let me go back a couple of frames. When this fight starts, you're going to immediately run towards this group of shadows to go attack them. Ping can either decide to follow you towards the shadows or to stand right here. If he chooses to follow you, like he does in this, so you see him coming with me, I'm going to immediately start attacking these shadows. I'm hitting them, doing a finisher. A Valor finisher one-shots the shadows, so doing that is good. If you see a bunch grouped up, doing a finisher will kill all of them. It's really cool, it's really fast. You want to do that. So in this case, I got ping prediction. I was able to go over, take out all those shadows. Very cool. This Nightwalker spawns in. It's going to hit me, but that's, you know, it happens. The key thing in pre-missions that I want to emphasize, that this vid doesn't do a great job, but the next strat will show it a little bit better. You want to go after the shadows before you go after the Nightwalkers. I mean, the Nightwalkers do spawn in later on, but if you have any shadows left, you should probably prioritize them. Because, you know, they love to hide underground. It's really annoying if you go kill the Nightwalkers, then you gotta run all the way back to the shadow who's just chilling underground. You can't kill him. If you go after the shadows first, the Nightwalkers are going to move into your position, and you'll be able to quickly move to them afterwards. So definitely aim for the shadows first. So yeah, I get hit here, but I'm trying to take out the shadows on the ground. I see this guy's underground, as this other Nightwalker spawning in. I'm gonna wait for him to pop out from underground before I start attacking. Oh, there he is. Okay, and then I finish off the fight. Also, a little note with the Nightwalkers, they die from one hit into the Valor finisher. So an X square or a square will kill a Nightwalker. But now we're going to show what happens when you don't get the ping prediction, as we call it. So this time when I run towards the shadows, ping is just going to stand here. And when that happens, I'm going to run direct, instead of attacking the shadows, I'm going to run directly back to where ping is standing. So I see that I see that he didn't follow me. Let me do that in slow-mo. I see that he doesn't follow me. He just keeps standing there. And then I turn around and come back to him. I'm now going to wait here for all of these shadows to hopefully... All the shadows immediately go underground. That's why we don't attack them. That's why we run back and we wait for them to congregate around ping. Because they come and join up in this area. And what you're going to see me do is I'm going to intentionally attack this tent so that I can immediately go into my finisher and hopefully kill all of these shadows who are bunched up here. Hopefully they'll come out of ground and I'll kill all of them. Spoiler alert, it doesn't happen in this video. I only kill one of them. But that principle, that's the plan you want to have when you don't get ping predictions. Hopefully you'll be able to kill a lot of them with your one finisher. And since I don't, I actually come in and do the same thing again, only instead of hitting the tent, I hit one of the shadows and then go straight into the finisher. So let's see how that works. Bam. Oh, only kills one. Wait for them to pop out. Do hits. Finisher again. That time I killed two. And I even did the second part of the finisher too. There I am taking out the shadows, taking out the Nightwalker. And then there, one hit into a finisher kills that second Nightwalker. That's pre-mission. A lot of RNG in pre-mission, unfortunately. It can go really well, really poorly. It's a lame fight. I hate it. But we're going to move on and go right into Mission 1. So Mission 1, we're going to start off with, let's go back a frame. There's two Nightwalkers that are spawned in. We're going to run directly to the right over here so we can kind of get around this Nightwalker. And then we're going to do an over the horizon and start hitting him with just the regular hits, not with the finisher. The goal is that we're going to start hitting him and we're going to take him towards the middle. And then we're also going to pick up this other guy at the same time. So we go from comboing this guy into comboing this guy in one fluid motion. So let's see how that works. Around the edge, boom. I actually land on the ground there. You don't, that's kind of a mistake. It's fine if it happens. You don't have to do that. Probably preferable to just continue on your full combo. That was more of a dropped input sort of thing. But yeah, you see that I move to the side, start attacking him. And then now I'm attacking them both. And see, I clear them out pretty quickly. Gonna start to do the same thing on this Nightwalker. Just air hits, and then the same thing with this Nightwalker. The reason that I'm doing that instead of going straight into the finisher is because of what you see right here. You really need to get their Valor form level up in this fight before you revert from Valor form. Depending on how your pre-mission went, you might have lots of Valor form left, or you might have very little left. And it's paramount that you get the level up, or else later on during the mountain climb segment, you might be slowly walking without Valor form. And that sucks. It feels bad and it's slow. So we're trying to get as many hits in as possible to get the level up, and that's why we're doing these open hits on the Nightwalker. So you see, after killing this guy, I actually still have some drive left. That isn't going to happen every time if your pre-mission didn't go very well, but since it did go well for me, I'm going to go in and start hitting these shadows with my Valor hits and then trying to do finishers to kill as many as possible. So you're going to see that happen right here. Do that finisher. Ooh, nice. I killed two, and I even knocked this guy up in the air. So auto-reverted from that, and now there's going to be a bunch of shadows that spawn in, and I'm going to fire them. I'm also going to switch out Goofy for Donald in just a second after I start a fire right here. Boom. And switching Donald in. And now I'm going to do my best to hit as many of these shadows at the same time with my fires. Not too much to talk about with this. You know, I'm just trying to move around. Hopefully I'm picking up some shadows with, or multiple shadows with my fires if I can. And I cleared them all out. And a Nightwalker spawned in way above me. So you can't even see him because he spawns so high in the air. if you try to jump and hit him, you're probably not going to be able to reach him because of how high he is. And I'm going to do a little bit of an advanced thing. Is you see these rocks? These rocks are actually a little bit higher in the air than the ground is. And if you stand on them and jump from there to attack the Nightwalker, you're probably going to be able to hit him a lot easier. So you're going to see me do that. Jump up, bam. Donald helped me out a little bit, but normally a Nightwalker dies from a full air combo with 2 finishers, just FYI. And that's mission 1. Mission 1 isn't too bad. Definitely not the worst mission. Worst mission is mission 2, which is this one right here. It's going to open up simple enough. Bunch of shadows around you. I'm going to jump, wait for them to congregate, and then do fires on them. Okay, I get hit there. It's not a huge deal. I'm really hoping that I can kill all of these guys at the same time, because once you kill all of them, except for one, then a Nightwalker will spawn here, and there's another Nightwalker down here that spawns, and then once you kill the final one, a third Nightwalker will spawn here. You really want to kill the shadows at the same time, ideally, so that all 3 Nightwalkers spawn at the same time. And then, basically, I'd recommend just going after whichever one is closest to you. If it's about even the distance, then go after the guy who's here. Donald is going to go after the Nightwalker that is furthest away from you, which most of the time is going to be this guy. And what you're going to try to do is, in this video and in general, what you're going to try to do is go after this Nightwalker, take him out, turn around, assess your situation, see what's happening with the other ones. So I'm going to show that happening. Double finisher. Okay, so this Nightwalker Donald's focusing on. This guy hasn't been touched, so I'm going to go over and start attacking him. Double finisher. And Donald's still taking on this guy. And actually, Donald ends up killing this guy. And once that final Nightwalker dies, an Assault Rider is going to spawn in. You can see him beginning to spawn in. You see his auto target right there. What you want to do with this Assault Rider is obviously kill him, but you want to finish him off being in a good position. So what is a good position? The best position is you're going to finish him off, and let me turn my camera here. You're going to finish him off and you end up around this area. That's ideal. That's optimal. It's not always going to work that way. You know, maybe you finished off the Nightwalkers and you killed the last guy over here. Then if you're more over here, then you'll probably end up trying to kill the Assault Rider and end up over in this area. The main point of this is because you're really concerned about the next wave. So the wave after this Assault Rider is going to be an Assault Rider in the middle, a Nightwalker that's right here on the ground, and a Nightwalker that's over here in the air. You prefer to deal with the one who's on the ground over here first, which is why we want to try to knock this Assault Rider over here. I'll get into more of why that is in just a second after we deal with this guy. You see me do a little hit here. You don't have to do that. I just started attacking the next thing that was in front of me. He does this little spin to win. Most of the time when they spawn, they're going to come out with a little twirly attack, and you just got to wait for them to finish it off. You can kill Assault Riders in a couple of different ways. The easiest way is to do what I'm about to do here. So wait for him to finish. Then I do an air combo with 1 finisher. Then I do another air combo with 1 finisher. And then normally I do another air combo with 2 finishers. This time Donald helped me out, so I'm just going to jump up and hit this guy. Kill him. And you see this Nightwalker spawns right here on the ground, and this guy spawns in the air. So since I'm over here, which is the position that we want, I'm going to immediately go after this Nightwalker. Once I kill him, I'm going to switch over to this guy. Donald's going to be attacking this Nightwalker, and the fight's going to progress, and we're going to do our best to deal with whatever scenario we're in. So let's see how that starts to work. So I kill him, I hop, I start attacking this guy. Donald's thundering this Nightwalker. So here I'm about to show a different way to take out the Assault Rider. This way is better when you're trying to create some distance between yourself and some other enemies. So I immediately open up on this Assault Rider with a double finisher. Double finisher. Then I'm going to follow this up by doing 2 air hits without the finisher. I'm going to land, and then I'm immediately going to go into another air combo with 2 finishers. This is a little bit tighter. This is a little bit harder to do than the previous method that I mentioned, but because I'm concerned about the Nightwalker that Donald's attacking coming over and hitting me, that's why I wanted to knock this guy further away. That's why I chose to deal with him in this method. So you're going to see me do 2 hits, and then boom, boom, kills. Donald's been hitting this guy, so much so that it only took me 1 hit to kill him. But that's mission 2. Mission 2 is really, really hard. This is probably the one you're going to struggle with the most, you're going to die to the most, all that sort of thing. Hopefully with what I've described here, it's going to give you a better plan coming into it, but it is just really difficult. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. This is one I die to all the time, one I lose time to all the time. It's really rough. But moving on from that, we're going to head on over to mission 3. So mission 3 is the one that's in the camp here, where you have to take out a bunch of shadows and then a couple of Nightwalkers at the end. This first shadow, this is a little bit of a tight process. So I mentioned earlier that it's really helpful if you know how to time your combos or your air combos. That makes you a much better player. It's also really important to know how to time your blizzards. So I'm going to take like 2 steps forward. I'm going to lock onto this shadow, and then I'm going to do 2 blizzards. 2 blizzards is actually going to kill this shadow. But if you don't do your 2 blizzards in quick enough succession, he's going to have time to go back underground. And the best way in order to make sure that you do your blizzards in quick succession is to time them. So it's annoying, but you probably should practice timing your blizzards. You can get away with mashing the heck out of them most of the time. It's not going to be 100% consistent, but most of the time you'll probably be able to do it fast enough. But for consistency's sake, I would recommend learning how to time it. So I'm going to do 2 blizzards to kill this guy. Whoomp, bam, whoomp, bam. That's about the sound of the blizzard makes. Kill this guy and head straight for the shadow that's over here. This shadow can do a variety of things. It can choose to stay behind the pole. It can choose to come out. You hope it comes out, but sometimes it's an asshole, and you just gotta deal with what you have. Something that's important to know is, so you see Donald at full MP here. There's an interesting property of party attack, which is the customization that Donald is on. When he's on party attack, he's going to pretty much guaranteed do 3 consecutive thunders and then start doing physical hits. And since he hasn't done any attacks yet, I know he's going to start thundering this enemy. So I'm going to run up to this guy. All right, well, this guy stayed back, so I just decided to do a full air combo on him to kill him. They die in the same way as the ones in Tower did, where it's 3 hits or 1 full combo. So, bam. See, Donald is 1 thunder there. I then head over to this next shadow. A thing you can do, if you see the shadow above ground, if you fire the tent will explode and knock the shadow in the air. And since I know that Donald has only done 1 thunder, I know that Donald is going to come over and do another thunder. And if you've done any damage to the shadow, one of Donald's thunder is going to kill it. So watch. I do my fire, the shadow gets knocked up in the air, and you hear Donald about to do a thunder, and he's going to kill it for me. And since I know he's only done 1 thunder, I know he's going to do a second one there, and I don't even go and deal with it myself. I know he's going to hit it. This is pretty advanced knowledge sort of thing. I don't necessarily recommend totally relying on Donald like that, but since I've done this 1,000 times, I know what to expect, that sort of thing. But these are just interesting tips that I think it's valuable for you guys to know about. So now we're going to head over. There's going to be 2 more shadows that we have to deal with. One that's like way back in here, and then one that's way back in here. And we basically just have to react to where they are, what they're doing, that sort of thing. So let's see, where is this guy? Oh, he's behind the tent. I see him come out of the ground for a second, so I try to fire the tents in hopes that he's going to blow, or the tents are going to blow up and it's going to knock him in the air. Unfortunately, he goes right back underground, but it's not a big deal. And okay, he trolls me again. I have to do a fire and then hit to kill him. That was unfortunate. Bad luck. Not much I could do about it. And then you see the other shadow over here. Now let's see what I decided to do about him. I do a thunder to explode and knocks him in the air, and I just kill him there. Once you kill all the shadows, bring in Goofy because we're going to go into Valor form. So I'm almost to full drive. Also be a little mindful of your drive. It's not usually something you need to worry about too much, but be aware of it. I'm going to do boom, finisher, double finisher. You can actually kill, it's kind of fun. You can kill this Nightwalker either with a double finisher like you just saw me do, or you can do one finisher and then kill it with the drive explosion. So you can do one finisher and immediately go into Valor form to kill two, just so you know. But I go into Valor form, I go and do hits on this guy, and then I take this guy out, and that ends missions. Missions is honestly the hardest part of this world. It's really rough. But now we're gonna run on over to mountain climb. So I'm gonna show you what's called fast mountain climb in this. Whether you're doing fast mountain climb or the slower version, which you probably see in beginner mode, because we want to make sure we kill a lot of enemies in beginner mode, is the way this starts off. No matter what, you're gonna hold to the right on your left analog stick about like 2-3 o'clock, and then you're gonna immediately do an over the horizon. You're gonna lock onto this soldier. You're gonna target switch twice, so you're gonna one over and then another over while you're doing a finisher. This is a lot. This takes a lot of practice. It's really hard to pull off, I'm not gonna lie. But by doing that, you're going to start off hitting this guy, and then your finisher is going to blast through and hit all three of them. So let's see what that looks like. First, let me show you in fast motion first. So boom. So yeah, that clears them all out. This is not a 100% guarantee, but it's the best method we have for dealing with it. But now let's watch it in slow motion a little bit. So I'm going to immediately head to the right. Actually, it's more like 3 o'clock that I run. Gonna lock onto this guy, do my over the horizon, then go straight into square, the finisher. And as I'm doing this, you see me target switch over to here, and then you see me do it one more time. And now my target switch has changed from this guy all the way over to this guy. It's a fast, fluid motion, not easy to pull off, takes a lot of practice. What I'm saying is practice. So gonna see me hit all three of these guys, and then I'm going to do my second finisher, but I'm actually going to delay it a little bit. If I do it immediately, Sora's actually going to do his second finisher facing this direction, and it's not going to hit these enemies. But because I delay it a little bit, Sora has time to turn around and hit both the soldier and the Nightwalker, and I'm going to clear them all out. Very smooth, do the RC, get through. What you're going to see me do here is a very precise piece of movement, and this is really hard. And if you're concerned about it, you're having issues with it, then in the very first menu of Land of Dragons, put ping onto Sora attack. Ping isn't really helping you that much in these fights, so having him on Sora attack is not a big deal. Sora attack is the one where the enemy or your party members don't do anything. But since I'm dumb and want to go fast, I don't change his customize. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run and stop at the very edge of where these next two Nightwalkers are about to spawn. So there's about to be two more Nightwalkers that are going to spawn. One right here and one right here. I'm going to run over directly in between the two and stop right on the edge. So I've stopped right on the edge for just a moment. Wait for them to spawn. And then I'm going to run in and do the reaction command. And because I paused here, let them spawn, and waited for a little bit, the last part of the reaction command is actually going to knock them into the air, and you're going to be able to pull it off without them interfering with you. The other reason I stop right on the precipice here is so that Ping doesn't have a chance to run over and mess with them. Because if he attacks them, they might retaliate and hit you out of your reaction command here. So you see me stop for a second, then I'm going to run forward. Bam, that knocks it up. And you actually see Ping does interfere a little bit. But fortunately, because I was directly in the center, Ping's off to the side. The Nightwalker is going to retaliate and attack Ping, but I am just barely out of the way. But you see, I do the upper swing, and it stops this guy from attacking me. This guy is attacking Ping, and I'm just barely out of the way, and then I'm able to get through. If you're struggling with this, put ping on Sora attack. It's not a big deal. Just do it. It's going to make your life a lot easier. From here, we're going to run over and immediately go do the final RC. The way you do that is I'm going to jump, get on this ledge. I'm going to immediately do another jump to get on this ledge. And then I'm going to do immediately another jump to get on this ledge with an attack to help me get enough airtime. So watch. Land, 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 attack to get... That attack allows me to get over this edge. If you don't do that attack, you're not going to get over the edge. You're going to come up short. And by doing those jumps in quick succession, just going gung-ho towards this final wall, it doesn't give the Nightwalkers enough time to get over to you and interrupt your final reaction command. So I'm going to hop over here and do this final reaction command. If I was too slow or if I failed those jumps, there's a chance while I'm doing this last reaction command that these Nightwalkers are going to come and knock me out of it. But because I was quick, it wasn't a worry, and we're through Mountain Climb. Now we're going to run on over to the cave fight. Cave is a little bit more straightforward. It's going to apply some of the principles I talked about earlier with dealing with the Assault Riders, and then firing a lot of shadows. So you're going to open the fight and immediately run after this Assault Rider. If you just run to the middle, eventually your auto target is going to target the Assault Rider. It's smart enough to know that you want to go after it. And I'm going to go after it and do the sequence where I do double finisher, 2 hits, double finisher to kill him. The reason I do that is because I want to knock him as far away as possible into the corner, because this corner area is where we want to be dealing with all of the shadows that are spawned in. So let's see. Jump, bump, bump, bam, bam. 2 hits, bump, bump, bam, bam. And now I'm going to stand here and wait for all of these shadows to gather a little bit. And then I'm going to start firing them. Do about 4 fires. Basically, what I want to make sure I see is the next wave of shadows start spawning. I don't know the exact count, but there's a certain number of shadows that you need to kill in order for this next wave to start spawning in. So basically, if I see them spawn in, I stop doing fires, but if they haven't spawned in, I'll keep doing fires, or I'll do some physical hits, whatever, just to make sure I kill enough for the next wave to spawn in. And now I'm going to sit around here, do a couple of hits to hopefully do a little damage. What I like to do is I'm waiting for all of these shadows to gather around me again, so I can start firing them, hit as many at the same time as possible. What I like to do is do a couple of hits on them, and then try to get a guard. In this game, when you guard, you get iframes from it, and you're allowed to just move around being invincible for a little bit of time. And that allows me to position myself well within the center of the shadows without any fear of them hitting me. I failed the guard here, so it doesn't quite work out in my favor. But I'm still pretty well positioned in the middle, so I just go into my fires anyways. Take a few steps, deal with this group. I see there's one over there. And there. Fires clears them all out. It's not always going to run this smoothly, but that's the general idea. And now we have 2 Assault Riders that spawn in. The key at the beginning here is you want to make sure you provoke both of them to attack. So you see I took a little step towards this left guy. He starts attacking, and then I move to the right guy and he starts attacking. Sometimes they'll do their spinny attack, sometimes they'll do their lunge, sometimes they'll do their swipe. You basically just react and don't go after the one who's doing the spinny attack, obviously. Go after the one who's doing one of the regular attacks. So I see that this guy is doing a regular attack, and after that I've forced this guy to attack, I'm going to start dealing with him using that double finisher method that I just did on the first Assault Rider. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I do something a little advanced here. As I'm doing this combo, I turn my camera so I can see what this guy is doing. It's a little hard to do your combos while turning your camera, but it's really important to be vigilant of the arena. The reason I do this is because this Assault Rider is going to come towards me and start to do his attack. And if I'm not looking, I might finish this guy off, turn around, and immediately get hit by it. So I see him going to do his stab attack, and I jump over it. So I turn towards him. He's doing his stab attack. I jump over it, and I do the same set of combos that I just did on that first Assault Rider. Actually, I do the simpler version here, where one air finisher, another air finisher, and then double air finisher. Bam, 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 bam. And that's the cave fight. So from here, we're going to move on to Summit. Summit is a timed fight. It ends once a minute has passed, but it is really important for our experience. So I've mentioned experience a few times before. There are certain level up thresholds that we want to make sure we hit during different parts of the run, and an important one comes during this fight. So basically, there's tons of rapid thrusters, and then at the beginning, one bolt tower, and then at the 30-second mark, more bolt towers will spawn in. Basically, we want to get as many kills as possible. That's your #1 goal. But the main thing is you want to hit level 9 and have 126 experience to the next level. Why 126? Because that's the exact number of experience that the Courtyard fight that's coming up gives, and you want to hit level 10 during that fight, because that gives us a strength increase that will make Shan Yu easier. So you see me go and take out the Bolt Tower to begin with, do a full combo double finisher to kill him, and then I'm going to start attacking the rapid thrusters. There's a couple of... So the rapid thrusters will generally spawn in on their own, but if not a lot have spawned in, there's a couple of easy ways to make them spawn in. The first is what you saw me do here, is I jump way up into the air. When you jump way in the air, a couple will come down to you. But you can also mash lock on, and when you mash lock on, that encourages more guys to come down for whatever reason. Those are just two important things to know. You're going to see me just try to kill these guys as fast as possible. The rapid thrusters have a reaction command that they can give you. And you see this movement that these guys just did? They do this little backflip thing. When I see that happening, that's how I know they're about to give me their speed trap reaction command. And if I notice it early enough, I can put out a fire and then go into the speed trap. The fire catches the rapid thrusters that are coming for you, and then the speed trap will kill them all. But if you don't notice it soon enough, just go right into the speed trap. You try to do the fire, they might all hit you and kill you immediately. It sucks. So only do this fire if you've noticed early that they're coming after you. And then I do the speed trap, kill a bunch of them. I continue just physical comboing them. Oh, I noticed another one. But I'm like, I don't think I have time to pull off a fire here since I'm in the air. So I just land and mash triangle and do the speed trap normally. Oh, another one coming. I tried to do the fire, but I wasn't quick enough. I was lucky. Sometimes just one hits you, and it's no big deal. Sometimes they all hit you and they kill you. I call that a summit rush. It's bad luck. It sucks. You die from it. Don't let that happen. It's bad. So, anyways, you see me try to pull it off. I fail there. And we're getting closer to 30 seconds here on the timer. And here now the bolt tower spawn in. So if you can, it's best to go target a bolt tower immediately. The bolt towers give much more experience than the rapid thrusters do, and if you can kill them, it's big. Also, they die from one hit from Sora and then a rapid thruster finisher. So if you can catch, or not a rapid thruster, a speed trap reaction command. So if you can catch a bunch of bolt towers in one of those speed trap reaction commands, you're in business. You're doing well. So I think I've pretty much covered all the important details of things to think about in doing this fight. So we're just going to let it play out. You see me go try to finish off that bolt tower who's taking a hit. You see it only takes one hit for me to kill it. Oh, I got hit by one of the bolt reversals. Not a big deal. Also, this quality is crap. I cannot see anything. Let's bump that up here. Sorry for the delay just a second. That did not make it like any better. Whatever. You see that I've made it to 92 to the next level. So I've hit the threshold that I need to hit. So when I go into the courtyard fight, I will hit level 10, get the strength increase. That's big. I'm going to show you two different strats for Shan Yu. The first strat is going to be when you hit that threshold, so that you're level 10 when you enter the fight. And the second strat is if you don't quite make it there. And I'll address that a little more once we go on. So, finish off Summit. Got a quick menu coming up here. We're going to immediately go into Sora's abilities. Equip Slide Dash. We are going to go on down to Combo Boost. And then when you hit R1, it's going to jump you right down to Item Boost. So it's like one down input, triangle. I think it's 4 down inputs, triangle, then R1 triangle. That gets you all 3 abilities that you need. We're going to press R2 twice to get over to Mulan's abilities. Go to the bottom, going to take off Auto Limit, take off Item Boost, and equip Fire Boost. And that's the menu. So it goes super quick, but... And then I immediately go into Valor form, increase my movement speed. And now we're actually going to see our first example of save warping, which is something that will come up a couple more times in this run. A lot of times it's faster, instead of just running over to the spot, to jump from one save point to another and move from where that other save point hits you. So we're going to head to the world map. And then we're going to go back to the first destination right here. This first one. That's going to put us back where we started. I'm immediately going to turn around and pick up the chest that's behind. This chest has an ether. We need ethers in the run, so I turn around and go pick that up. And then I'm going to head on over to Courtyard. There's a quick little movement trick that I do here. So you can... This pops up a couple times in the run, but there's a couple of cases where you can do a slide dash in order to move a little bit faster. And I'm about to do that here on this Assault Rider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run directly towards him. I'm going to angle myself a little bit to the left. And the moment Sora's Keyblade appears, that's when you know you can press X. That's your visual indicator of when you're able to do a slide dash. So my Keyblade appears, I do a slide dash, and this Assault Rider is going to do its lunge attack. It doesn't always do the lunge attack, sometimes it does the swipe, but the lunge attack is what you want to see. It's charging up to do the lunge attack, and it's going to knock me towards the gate where I want to go. Just a cool little movement trick. There's another one right here that I do. This one's a little less important, but I lock onto this little caravan and do a slide dash over to it. These are very minor movement things, like it's probably saving you like a second max, but if you can pull it off, might as well do it. Now we're gonna head into the Courtyard fight. This is a very simple but RNG fight. You're gonna immediately activate Mulan's Limit. Actually, earlier you saw me switch on over to Limit so that I am immediately ready to do it. Do Mulan's Limit. Now we're just going to mash Triangle. So the Limit has 2 attacks. It has both Heat Lance and Flame Tongue. We don't want to use Flame Tongue. We're just going to use Heat Lance. So you just mash Triangle here. Until it's the finisher. And Mushu does the finisher here. And hopefully it kills all 3 of these Bolt Towers. It's not guaranteed. I'd say it's about like maybe 60% of the time it kills all of them. Something like that. If it doesn't, you know, go finish off the Bolt Tower that's remaining with physical attacks. Maybe go into Valor form, because we'll be going into Valor form for the next fight. It's bad luck if it does. It sucks, but here it's going to kill. Bam. And see, I got my strength increase. If you didn't hit that 126 threshold in Summit that I was talking about, you won't get that strength increase until later. Alright, now I'm going to go into Valor form and head on over to the Shan Yu fight. So like I mentioned earlier, I am going to show you 2 different strats for the Shan Yu fight. This first one is going to be when I have the level up. The second one is going to be when I don't have the level up. So we're going to start off the fight by running directly towards Shan Yu. And once we get right up into his face, like we're going to get way up into his face, I'm going to attack him. And that's going to give us a parry and is going to give us Shan Yu's reaction command. So you mash triangle, do the reaction command, lock on to him, because your lock on is going to reset. So we lock on to him during that reaction command. I'm going to take a few steps forwards, and then I'm going to do an over the horizon to him. So you see me take a few steps forwards and do that over the horizon. Going to hit him with that. I'm going to land, and then I'm going to start a full ground combo. Bam. I'm going to wait for a little bit, let it reset, so I don't do the second finisher. I don't want to do the second finisher. Wait for the second. I'm going to jump up and start doing regular hits. And this is where we're going to hit our first example of a health gate. So you probably know in this game that it takes a finisher to kill each boss. It goes a little beyond that. A lot of bosses have what's called a health gate, which is a point in their health where you can't do any more damage to them until a finisher is done to them. Shan Yu has one of those health gates. It happens right around this point on his health bar. So kind of at the end of the green dot here, at the end of this, for this part of the health bar, that's where his health barrier is. And we want to push him to that barrier. Once he hits that barrier, he's not going to take any more damage, and he's going to go into his purple charge up thing. And that's what we're trying to provoke. So after I do the finisher, I'm going to hop up and do these hits until I hit that health barrier. And that's about 3 hits it'll take. So you can kind of see, even as I'm doing hits, he's not taking more damage. So I did 2 hits there they didn't take damage for. Excuse me. So that's how I know I hit his health barrier. And at this point, he's going to charge up, hit his purple, and do the lunge at me. So I'm going to run away from him. He charges up, and he's going to do a lunge at me. At the same time, this bird is also coming to hit me. And this is where things get pretty complicated. So the bird wants to hit you during this time. And if it hits you, it's going to knock you up into the air, and you're not going to be able to get the parry, because you're going to need to parry Shan Yu in Valor form to get another reaction command, which is timing that you're just going to have to learn, since Valor form obviously doesn't have guard. But this bird is trying to ruin your life. So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to target switch to the bird. Actually, I'm going to lock off. I'm going to lock off of Shan Yu, so that my auto target resets and then targets the bird. I'm going to hit the bird to stop it from attacking me. I'm then going to lock on, which is going to lock onto the bird, and then I'm going to target switch back to Shan Yu in order to get the parry. Again, this is not easy. This Land of Dragons is a fucking tough world. It really is. There's a lot going on. But I'm attacking the bird so that it won't immediately attack me back, and then I'm going to go get this parry on Shan Yu. So watch. Bam. And you even see the bird come in. So I'm going to hit the bird. I target switch. It first goes to this Nightwalker. I see I have to do another target switch on over to Shan Yu. Now I'm targeting Shan Yu. He's coming at me, and I'm going to start an attack and parry him. Bam, doing another RC. And you even see the bird come in and try to swipe me during the RC. The bird's a bastard. He sucks. But yeah, we're doing this reaction command. Finish him off, lock in again. And here we're going to do a full combo. And then we're going to do a double finisher to kill. You got to delay this second finisher a little bit in order for it to connect and kill properly. It's like a beat. I don't really have a better way to describe the timing, but with practice you'll figure it out. So I'm gonna do the second finisher and it'll kill. Bam. Let's watch that from the start again. This is a tough fight. This is a very tough fight. As are a lot of the fights in this run. This is going to take a lot of practice. Not going to lie. Yeah, do my over the horizon to get to him. Start the full ground combo. Then go do a couple hits. Run away. If you're not quick enough running away, he's going to do his little upwards aerial spiral attack. It's not the end of the world. It's just going to lose you a little bit of time. Hit the bird. Get the parry. Full combo, delayed double finisher. So that's the strat if you have the level up. Now we're about to see the strat if you don't have the level up. And it's going to immediately start a little different. So same thing, we're going to run directly for him, or we're going to run directly towards him, but instead of attacking when we're like point blank, we're going to attack a little bit earlier. So before I was taking like another couple steps before I attacked. This time I attacked a little bit earlier in order to get the parry. The difference here is if you attack when you're like point blank, this RC is going to face directly towards the entrance to the palace, and you're going to hit him directly towards the entrance to the palace. With attacking early and at this angle, you're actually going to shoot him into the left corner, and it's also going to time perfectly so that when you do the RC, it's going to kill 2 of these Nightwalkers. So watch. Bam. Kills the 2 of them, and now I've gotten my strength increase. So that's the main point. So yes, sending him in the corner, but the main point is that it's timed so that you kill 2 of the Nightwalkers. After that, we're going to run towards Shan Yu, but not get all the way there. We're going to take a few steps towards him and see what he does. If he just kind of stands there, then you run up and go hit him. More commonly, he's going to do what he's going to do in this video. He's going to say go, and after he says go, you wait for a second, and then you go and attack him, and then you can get another parry. So basically, it's parry, RC, into another parry and RC. From here, I'm going to go and start doing air combos, but not doing the finisher. This is the same thing where I'm pushing him to his health gate that we talked about in the previous fight. So I'm pushing him until his HP is about here. Just doing air hits to do that. I see it gets there. He stops taking damage, and then I run away. That time I wasn't quick enough, so he's doing his little aerial spiral like I was talking about before. But when he lands, he's gonna go into his purple mode. So I got lucky. Bird decided not to attack me, so I didn't have to go and deal with it during. And here I'm just gonna go get the parry, end the fight the exact same way you ended it in the first strat. Full combo, double finisher with the second finisher delayed. That time, I messed up the timing, didn't kill. No big deal, just hit him again. And that's Land of Dragons. This is a really tough world. This one's going to take a lot of practice. This is a world that I practice constantly. I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but obviously making saves is very important. But I also highly recommend doing world RTAs. That is, making splits in which you just go through a full world as fast as possible. So I do just Land of Dragons practice a lot, because this is a world that demands your attention and demands a lot of practice. Hopefully I've been able to give you a lot of tips to make this world maybe a little less brutal. There's no way to make it not brutal, because it's hard. It's an early game world. But with that, I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one for another fun world, Olympus Coliseum. Catch you later.